Hey everybody, welcome to Geek Rant. It's Greg here again on the channel with Toby. And tonight we're going to be reviewing the official trailer for Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Tonight, Toby and I are going to be talking about something that's very close to our hearts. Both Toby and I, as kids, and still a little bit here and there, have been known to have a few games of the old Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not actually sure what series it's on now, but or edition, but yeah,
fifth edition.
Fifth edition, right?
Yeah,
I think I played the second. I think I played second edition. So
we played Advanced Dungeons and Dragons
yes,
when we were younger.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. That's right.
That was the first solo Gygax edition, which is what you'll see a lot of what this film is about that version thrown in with fifth edition. It's kind of like fifth edition is a much more kind of open world role-playing environment. That's kind of anyway, we'll talk more about that as we get into the trailer.
I've got an authority with me tonight who's gonna teach me quite a lot about the game I used to
play. yeah. Then we should play it again.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Let's see how the trailer is. If it's any good, then maybe.
Yeah.
But yes, so let's have a look at the trailer and we'll see what we think.
Yeah, and we have watched it before as well, just so it's more of a review than a kind of
yes. Yeah.
Here's the thing. We're a team of thieves. And when you do this,
got your party.
You're bound to make enemies. Sometimes those enemies come with
treasure situation.
Yeah.
Oh, black dragon.
Yeah.
There are different types of dragon in this world. It's firing acid. Yeah.
Truth be told,
so we know Chris Pine's a thief.
Steal the wrong thing.
He's a bard.
We didn't mean to unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known.
Yeah, but he may be multi-class.
So how do we pull that?
Got your magic, obviously, big part of what Dungeons and Dragons
Figure it out over a drink.
Lots of different biomes, different environments. And they're going for that Lord of the Rings feel, aren't they?
I know you don't.
Definitely.
She's a good fighter.
We also need
I think he's a paladin.
He's the paladin, correct? Yeah. He looks like a wizard of some form.
Oh, an owl bear.
Yep. That looks really cool.
That's good.
What is that again? It's an owl bear.
And she's a tiefling. I think she's a tiefling. Yeah, she's got tails. They're quite a new species.
Glad he's on our side.
To play characters.
It's the music. It's got that a little bit of that, a bit like Thor.
That's a mimic.
Doing that.
Gelatinous cube and a red dragon.
Yeah. They've got like a very old symbol. You know, that's cool. They've got that old.
What is it exactly that you bring to this?
I'm a planner. I make plans.
You've already made
tiefling usually have bigger horns than that, but you can have small horns as a tiefling.
So you make plans that fail.
No.
He also plays the lute.
Not relevant.
He also plays the lute. He's dancing.
Yeah. Yeah. So the definitely implication at the end is a bard, but yeah, he says on Amongst Thieves. I think generally there's often thieving involved in a quest. You know,
absolutely.
So that's obviously going to be the prime narrative is going to be, you know, the
it's saying there in the trailer that he's stolen something. He's stolen something that he shouldn't have done. It looked like some sort of magical object, and he's given it to someone pretty terrible. And I'm guessing he's going to be unleashing a load of dragons or or monsters. I'm quite impressed with the effects and things. They looked pretty good, you know. Chris Pine is a bonus for me. I don't know what it is. He seems to carry things off quite well. He's got a good sort of charm about him. He can do the comedy bits quite well. I think I said to you before, he's hilarious in Horrible Bosses too.
And I haven't seen it yet. I keep meaning to watch it, but I will watch it.
He is hilarious in that. He's brilliant.
Is he?
He's like he's a complete psychopath, but he's brilliant in that. And things like Wonder Woman, he was good in Wonder Woman because he actually made that held that film together really.
I would say.
Yeah,
he's great. I like him as Captain Kirk.
Yes,
as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's very good in Star Trek. I agree with you. I think he's got a very visceral, physical way that he portrays his emotions.
Yeah,
and he uses his face in a very particular way, and you kind of suffer with him as he's going through things.
And there's going to have that. They look like they're going to go for a bit of humor with it, you know. That bit where he's playing the lute at the end there, all dancing around like a Wally, you know. There could be some funny bits in it. It looks good, but then there was complemented by there's quite a lot of good visual effects. You know, there was some, fireballs being thrown down, and you know that sorcerer or whatever was casting a spell to protect them, and I like the way that was kind of the effect of that was coming off, and you know, dragons these days is something that they're able to do quite well, aren't they?
It is. I think there's a bit of a problem with Dungeons and Dragons as the film, because it's something that has been handled before. Back in 2000, there was a film that has a score of 3.6 on IMDb, which is really, really bad.
Is that the Jeremy Irons film?
The Jeremy Irons one,
It was pretty bad.
And
I remember it being pretty bad.
Yeah, very bad. And that has kind of warned people off this property. But we are witnessing, over the last 5 years, we've witnessed the resurgence of role-playing.
Yes.
And Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, and they're thinking about the new version of that at some point, maybe next year.
Okay.
And so there's a big uprising, and with COVID and all the lockdown and with virtual tabletops,
it's become much more
access to role playing. So they've now hit this moment, and they want to try and make some money out of it.
Yes, absolutely.
It is interesting because they, in that trailer, they ticked a number of references.
Yes.
So like the dragons obviously are important.
Yeah.
There was sort of maze type dungeon stuff going on there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good if they put some dungeons in there.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely.
You got to go down. You got to explore places, have some fights, some spells. Yeah.
And then they threw in some of the key creatures: the owlbear, the gelatinous cube, which you would not jump into because they dissolve your body.
That's right. But, I thought that. I thought, why is he?
Yeah,
that's killed him, isn't it?
Well, it's a slow process. But it is. There were some other kind of ticks that they did, tick boxes, and I don't know about it. It's quite. I'm really nervous about whether they're going to do this well.
That's interesting.
Because
that's interesting.
My vibe is I like Chris Pine, as you say.
Yes.
I didn't really like none of the other characters there really caught my attention, unfortunately. No, I just felt they all looked somewhat flat, somewhat sort of generic.
Two-dimensional.
I think it's going to be interesting because are they going to have people who know what Dungeons and Dragons is?
Yeah.
Are these people players of Dungeons and Dragons, or are they?
I doubt it. I doubt it. It's probably that it's a job. It's an acting job. You know.
Yeah. But some of these guys, they will get involved with the method, won't they? And they as they say, and they will then maybe go out and experience what it's like to work in a hospital. But are they going to go out and play Dungeons and Dragons, or are they just going to kind of imagine their fantasy characters? Because the thing is, right, the lore for Dungeons and Dragons is so loaded, and the way people react and the way magic works, and there's so many things that could go wrong, and there's so many people to play it now. It's really a very
the thing with it is
it's very
any sort of spell, any films that you see with spell usage, it isn't done brilliantly very often, is it? It is very tricky. It's a very tricky thing to do, because in your mind you can make up this imagination of what you think is happening with this spell, and that's part of Dungeons and Dragons, isn't it? You imagine it together, and you all have but for someone to show it visually on a screen, I think, you could be right. That I think the things that will be a bit more like a fireball, them firing a fireball or some sort
there was
of...
the fireball was in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that can obviously be done better.
Classic
can't
fireball
it?
spell.
But there are lots of other spells, aren't there, that are probably a bit more difficult to make, but fingers crossed with the graphics and the CGI that they have now and the ways of doing things, I just hope they don't make it too CGI. It'd be nice if there was some practical side to it that made it work better, but you can't always guarantee that, can you?
It does feel like maybe this should have been released a year ago, and I wonder whether there was a bit of a hold up in production. I don't know, because there's definitely a drop off not in popularity, but there's an increased movement to other role playing games, and increased old school role play style groups coming out, and Dungeons and Dragons is viewed as very inclusive. And this will probably fit into the style of movie that is kind of popular at the moment, and maybe that might drag it along, but I don't know. I'm a bit
they
unsure.
Put quite a rock song over the top of it as well, which was a little bit. It made me think Thor, that way they did their last one, and I mean, I was really disappointed with the Thor film, Thor. But not when I see this trailer, I don't think anything looks really bad. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't seem like anything.
No.
And I know what you mean about the characters, but the only person that's really talking it is the Chris Pine character, so it could be good fun. It could be. I think it will be more fun and comedy than
I think they're dragging in a bit of Stranger Things as well.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think there's the text, as you mentioned, is a bit retro. Colors are very sort of Stranger Things, and the music and the rock, the 80s style rock, which was coming in there very much. There's a sense of nostalgia. So will it lock in its identity? That's part of my concern about what this is. It's just going to try and throw everything in to the boiling pot.
Maybe they try and tick too many boxes. Maybe they try and tick too many boxes to get the Dungeons and Dragons fans, salivating. But it's how will the everyday person view it? Do you think there'll be people won't want to see it because of the uncoolness of Dungeons and Dragons, or used to be, do you know what I mean?
That is a good question. How cool do people think Dungeons and Dragons is?
Yes,
because it's definitely not as embarrassing to play it now as it was back when we played it, and I think I don't know, I'm very much on the fence with this one. I don't know what I feel.
You've never been that cool, so it don't...
no, absolutely. Thank heavens for that.
So you've never worried about playing it.
My kids wouldn't live it down. They'd hate it. But I mean, looking at the other, they've obviously got Hugh Grant in there, coming in as the rogue, apparently. So I don't know what his role will be within
Hugh Grant
this.
sometimes can play. he can be brilliant sometimes, and in
Yeah,
unexpected
yeah.
films. The kids love that second Paddington film which he's in, and he plays the kind of the villain in it, and
yeah.
I think that's like one of his best performances. He is brilliant in that. He's so so funny, But then I've seen him in some other
But do
stuff.
we want that sort of humor?
I
How
don't
serious
know.
should we take? How seriously should we take Dungeons and Dragons? That's the
I think
thing.
this is
That is
I think
it.
this is one
Because
of the big questions, isn't it? I don't think you could
yeah,
make it a totally 100% serious film.
no, I don't
Um,
think so.
and I think a good bit of light-hearted humor here and there. And I think that's why the likes of Chris Pine's in there, because he'll deliver
Yeah,
that.
I think he will. I mean, look, you can look at it like
Was
this.
that
Yeah,
Michelle Rodriguez is in
people
that as
play.
well?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, look at it this way. When you play Dungeons and Dragons, you can play it in any way you like. You can play with a group of people who will have a great laugh, and they'll have what you might call stupid characters or silly characters, and you can play with other people who play it really seriously.
Yes.
Where so Dungeons and Dragons is different things for different people.
Yeah.
So how do you lock that in? And that's difficult. So that's part of that is probably thinking about it more, why I'm concerned about what this is going to be, because Dungeons and Dragons isn't one thing. It is very many different things for many different people. And to try and pin an identity like this down, it's not feasible. It's not like you can the worlds that Dungeons and Dragons is set in, people are put into those. The Dungeon Master takes you into those, and then you explore and you change it and you experience different things. And each world, even though it's set in the same place, the Forgotten Realms often, is different. So it's tricky.
Yeah, but like we saw there was lots of different locations and lots of different things. So maybe hopefully they're not going to try and do too much, but yeah, this is quite a tall order. They're quite brave, aren't they, really, to try and take something like this on?
I think that is the point. That is the point. That is the point.
Yeah.
I think that this is potentially a hurdle. There's many hurdles along the way for this one. And to get it all right would be a great feat.
It's not like, I know there are lots of Dungeons and Dragons books, but they are all from so many different settings, aren't they? So many different worlds.
Yeah. Planes of existence.
Yeah. And yeah, it is good. Now you say it like that, it's going to be really tricky, isn't it, for them to do this?
Yeah.
Without it being like Willow or something else,
Well, they're very specific stories, aren't they? Whereas this one, the worlds have lots of different stories. There are lots of different planes of existence. The material plane being the main plane, but there's like the Fey Wild. There's the elemental planes. There's all sorts of different things that are around it. It's brave. I hope it works.
Yeah, me too.
I'd love to sit down and watch a film like this that is fantasy orientated, but it doesn't really have a written canon sense to say this is the story you should make into a film.
No, exactly.
It's a game.
Yes.
People can argue that there are histories, where all these things come from, but it's not like there's like a main narrative story.
No,
the story is the characters. It's your friends playing at the table.
You create the characters yourself, don't you? So they're all different every time. Yeah.
So thinking about it like that, and this concept then being made into a film it's a tricky thing. And I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to get too excited about this one because I just know how bad the 2000 film was, and any other kind of attempt to try and make Dungeons and Dragons into fictional works has largely failed big time. So
I didn't notice what it said. I'm just trying to look and see if I can see the release date for this.
That is a good question. When is that? When is it released? Expected the 3rd of March 2023.
Right.
Okay. So we've got into next year. So, wow.
It's not coming out for a little while. Okay. But that's still I was feeling a little excited about it in some respects, because it's totally unknown what they could do with it. So I think that's the other way of thinking of it. There's so many good possibilities, so much they could do with it.
Yeah,
It could be bloody amazing, Could be
it could be
a whole.
They've got a couple of directors on it. One really inexperienced director, John Francis Daly, and Jonathan Goldstein, who hasn't really done much either. They kind of work together, this duo of directors. So
it's interesting, isn't it? Because we're noticing that there's quite a few that are these things being directed that for people who have not had huge experience, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Really encouraging, because it would mean you can get into a different field. But yeah. Okay, well,
yeah,
there we go. Okay, well, thanks for joining us tonight. We got a little while before that one comes out, but I think we are looking forward to seeing it. We'll be out there seeing it. I'll definitely go and see it in the cinema, because I think that could be something you could enjoy on a big screen. But anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. Obviously, if you like what we're saying, please subscribe and leave any comments and like the videos. That would be much appreciated. Otherwise, we'll see you soon, and take care. Cheers.